no, he can say whatever. You can't say that to my son. You can't say. You can't say that one to my son, okay?
Okay, bye-bye. Call the cops right now! Call the cops right now!
So a cowboy sat on a stool in a bar, drinking a beer, when a man in full Mexican cowboy attire walked in and took the seat next to him. They exchanged a slight nod, acknowledging each other. After a while, the cowboy ordered another round and decided to buy a drink for the Mexican cowboy as well. The two silently drank together, and when their glasses were empty, the cowboy ordered another round for both of them. This happened again a third time. After the third drink, the Mexican cowboy grinned and said something in a low voice, but the bartender couldn't make out what he said. Suddenly, the cowboy's face turned red with anger. Without warning, he stood up, drew his gun, and shot the Mexican cowboy dead on the spot. At the trial, the judge asked the cowboy, "Why did you become so enraged and shoot this man without any apparent reason?" The cowboy replied, "Well, Your Honor, I was just trying to be friendly. I bought him 3 drinks, and each time he just grinned at me and insulted me." The judge asked, "What did he say that made you so mad?" The cowboy took a deep breath and said, "After each drink, he grinned in my face and called me grassy ass."
Sitting on the couch with his wife, a man amusingly throws peanuts up in the air and attempts to catch them with his mouth. Just as he's about to throw another peanut, the front door swings open, distracting him. As a result, the peanut ends up lodging in his ear, causing him a bit of distress. His daughter then walks in, accompanied by her new boyfriend. Quickly, the man explains his little predicament to them, looking rather embarrassed. The daughter's boyfriend, eager to impress, confidently says, "Don't worry, sir. I think I can help you get that peanut out." He then instructs the father to take a seat. Positioning himself in front of the father, he places 2 fingers up the man's nose and instructs, "Now, take a deep breath and blow out as hard as you can." With a strong exhale from the father, the peanut is propelled out of his ear, much to everyone's relief. After witnessing this, the daughter, impressed and grateful, leads her date to the kitchen, perhaps to grab some snacks or a drink. With them out of earshot, the wife, looking both impressed and curious, turns to her husband and comments, "He's quite clever, isn't he? I wonder what he's thinking of becoming in the future." The father, taking a moment and with a wry smile, replies, "Well, judging from the smell of his fingers, I'd say our son-in-law."
In a trial, a small-town prosecuting attorney calls his first witness, an elderly grandmother, to the stand. He approaches her and asks, "Mrs. Jones, do you know me?" The old woman responds and says, "Why, yes, I do know you, Mr. Williams. I've known you since you were a little boy, and frankly, you've become a big disappointment to me. You lie, you cheat on your wife, and you manipulate people and talk about them behind their backs. You think you're a big shot when you haven't the brains to realize you'll never amount to anything more than a 2-bit paper pusher. Yes, I know you." The lawyer was stunned. Not knowing what to do next, he points across the room and says, "Mrs. Jones, do you know the defense attorney?" Again, she responds and says, "Why, yes, I do. I've known Mr. Bradley since he was a youngster, too. He's lazy, bigoted, and he's got a drinking problem. He can't build a normal relationship with anyone, and his law firm is one of the worst in the entire state. Not to mention he's cheated on his wife with 3 different women, one of which was your wife. Yes, I know him." The defense attorney nearly died. At this point, the judge calls both counselors to the bench and in a very quiet voice says, "If either of you 2 idiots asks her if she knows me, I'll send you both to the electric chair."
So a middle-aged couple had finally figured out how to send and receive texts on their cell phones. One day, while the wife was out having coffee with a friend, she decided to send her husband a romantic text. She wrote, "If you are sleeping, send me your dreams. If you are laughing, send me your smile. If you are eating, send me a bite. If you are drinking, send me a sip. If you are crying, send me your tears." I love you. The husband, who was more of a practical, no-nonsense kind of guy, quickly texted back, I'm on the toilet. Please advise.
Two elderly women, Doris and Ethel, are sitting on a cozy porch, enjoying their cigarettes. As they indulge in their smoking habit, the skies darken and a light drizzle begins. Doris's cigarette quickly becomes damp from the rain and is extinguished. However, to her amazement, she notices Ethel calmly taking out a condom and a tiny pair of scissors from her purse. Skillfully, Ethel cuts off the tip of the condom and smoothly slides it over her cigarette, effectively turning it into a rain shield. She then proceeds to smoke her cigarette as if nothing has changed. Stunned, Doris exclaims, "My goodness, Ethel. What a smart idea. Where did you even think of getting that?" Ethel, puffing away, replies, "Oh, from the little pharmacy down the street, dear Doris. Whenever I hear there might be rain, I make sure to grab a couple. It's such a pity to ruin a good Marlboro, you know." Intrigued and wanting to be prepared for the next rainy day, Doris decides to visit the pharmacy the following day. However, once she stands in front of the vast array of condoms, she's unsure about the right size since she prefers Camels over Marlboros. Spotting her pondering over the choices, a young pharmacy assistant approaches her, trying to hide his amusement. "Ma'am, can I help you choose a specific brand or type?" he inquires politely. Doris, a bit flustered, replies, "The brand doesn't matter, just as long as it fits a camel."
Two nuns are painting an office at the rectory on a hot summer day. One says to the other, "We should take off our habits so as to not get paint on them." So both nuns decided to paint the room in the nude. Suddenly, they hear a knock on the door. Flustered, one nun asked, "Who is it?" A man's voice responded, "Blind man!" Thinking the man wouldn't see anything, they open the door. The man walks in and says, "Nice tits, ladies. Now, where do you want me to install these blinds?"
So little Harold went to a horse auction with his father. As they walked around, Harold watched closely as his dad moved from horse to horse, running his hands up and down each horse's legs, rump, and chest. After a few minutes of this, Harold couldn't hold back his curiosity any longer and asked, "Dad, why are you doing that?" His father replied, "Well, son, when I'm thinking about buying a horse, I have to make sure it's healthy and in good shape before I decide to buy." Harold paused for a moment, looking a bit concerned, then said, "Dad, I think the UPS guy wants to buy Mom."
A young fellow decided to start a new chapter of his life in California. On arriving, he visited a large retail store, hoping to find some work. Walking up to the store manager, he mentioned, "I'm looking for a job here." The store manager sized him up and asked, "Have you ever worked in sales before?" The young guy confidently replied, "Yes, back in my hometown, I was quite the salesman." Impressed by his confidence, the manager decided to give him a shot. "All right then, you can start tomorrow. After we close up shop, I'll come and check how you fared." His first day was a bit challenging, navigating through the massive store and interacting with the Californian locals. But he managed. After the day ended and the doors were locked, the manager, true to his word, came down to see him. "So, how many sales did you make today?" he inquired. The young guy responded, "Just one." Raising an eyebrow, the manager said, "Only one? Most of our salespeople average between 20 to 30 sales each day. How much did this sale amount to?" The young guy proudly said, "It totaled a little over $125,000. The manager's eyes widened in disbelief. "What? $125,000? What on earth did you manage to sell him?" the guy began. "Well, it started with a simple fish hook. Then he seemed interested, so I suggested a new fishing rod to complement it. Then, out of curiosity, I asked him where he planned on fishing. He mentioned something about the coast. So naturally I said he'd need a proper boat for that. That led us to the boat section, where I convinced him that a twin-engine Boston whaler was exactly what he needed. But then he voiced a concern that his little Honda Civic wouldn't be able to tow such a boat. So I walked him down to our vehicles section and introduced him to a sturdy Expedition. The manager was flabbergasted. Wait a minute. You're telling me that a guy came into this store to get a fishhook, and you managed to sell him both a boat and a truck? The young guy shook his head. Not exactly. The man initially came in looking for tampons for his wife. Seeing his disappointment, I simply remarked, "Dude, your weekend's shot, you should go fishing."
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!